Baby, good morning, Devils fans, as we win 6-5 over the Vancouver Canucks out in Vancouver. Boy, that was a crazy one. Probably should have won that by a few more goals and not once again have heart attacks across the fandom as we blew a 3-goal lead in the third period. But thankfully, Jesper Bratt sealed it with a very late third period goal to not even have to go to overtime. Let's talk about it. Crazy game. We get the first goal. We continue to, I think we're now 5-1 when we do score first. Vast majority of our games we have not. As Jesper Bratt gets a nice odd man rush, elects to shoot it himself, and beats Demko clean. 1-0 Devils. Now, if you remember this play just before that Bratt goal, he had another fairly clean breakaway. Not clean breakaway, but odd man rush in, but Demko made the save. They regroup, and then they're right back in on the next play with an odd man rush. Now, I was told by the Devils fandom that good teams don't give up plays like that. And, well, probably before this game, a lot of Devils fans would say Vancouver is one of the better teams in the league. If you watch my preview, we did talk about how 5-on-5, they do give up a good amount of chances, but their goalie has typically bailed them out, and that just was not the case, at least in the first period on this one, even though Demko really did keep them more so in it through the second and third. However, the other thing I talked about was the special teams, and that came to fruition for the most part as the Canucks did score on their first power play. Mikey McLeod loses his stick as he ran to the bench to get a replacement, basically tic-tac-toe out of the Canucks, and puck ends up in the back of the net. A big theme on this one, I know it was on Twitter and just watching, and it was even talked about on the Canucks broadcast heading into the game. Vitek gives up a lot of rebounds, and that definitely held true here in this one. Technically, I do think this first goal was off of a rebound. A lot of these were off the rebounds, and one of them I very much so put on Vitek. The other one's not so much, so I'm going to kind of go through them here as I go goal by goal, and then I'll do kind of the more overarching stories and then focus in on a few players throughout the rest of the video. We then took over for the rest of the first period. We had the beautiful play by Jack where he pulls up against Myers, who is like a full, half a foot over him in size, definitely a lot of weight on him, and instead pinches him kind of between him and I think it was Toffoli behind the net, and Myers just kind of froze, and Jack, doing Jack things, pickpockets him. I'm sure a lot of the more physical leaning Devils fans would have been ripping Jack apart initially on that, saying, oh, you got to take a hit to make the play there to get the puck. That's just not Jack's style. Instead, he would have been crunched, lost the puck, and it's probably a clean break for the Nucks. Instead, he plays the patient game, doesn't get himself taken out along the boards, lifts the stick, takes the puck away. Beautiful pass to Haula up front, who buries it. Love to see that line put back together. We've seen it work before, and it continues to have that chemistry. Haula and Jack, who would have thought that would continue to just be a great dynamic duo. Toffoli didn't get a goal in this one, but I thought he continues to look really good alongside Jack, and that line, it just continues to produce. Speaking of, we now get to the third goal. Boom. Set play, Jack actually switches the defenseman, talks the ball, tells him exactly what he wants to do, and that's what happens. Jack wins the face-off. Doesn't happen very often, but he did it. Right back to ball. Nice little shot pass over to Jack, who does, as he says, makes the play with his skates, right to his stick, tap and goal. Beautiful. 3-1 lead, as it is looking like this might be a runaway win for the Devils, but as we know, it wasn't quite that. But the next goal would make you think it was, as we go up 4-1 off of a rebound, crash the net, fourth line, gritty, feisty type goal that you want out of that line with McLeod and Lazar, who I think have been third line caliber guys so far this season, on the line to hopefully spark Bastion, and this they do. They get the nice rebound, put the puck in. So if you want to rip, Vitek apart for the rebound goals, I think actually Demko was worse as far as giving up rebounds he should have had. Now, you're going to give up rebounds. It's just what type of rebound is it? What is the game situation when it happens? And in my opinion, Demko gave up the worst of the rebounds, and I think Demko also made some great saves. I think Vitek also made some great saves. However, we did not end up leaving the first period up 4-1 as a within the last minute goal does occur where the Vancouver Canucks had the nice pass over to, which one was this? It was Oh gosh, completely blanking. All that's in my mind is the Besser goal, but that was the third one. We had Quinn, who was the fourth, or the assist from Quinn on the fourth and I think fifth goals. The second goal was, there was a pass out front from the point. It gets deflected basically right in front of the blue paint. This was a rebound that then pops back out to a Canucks player who drags it around Vitek's pad and pops it into the net. I'm not really going to hate on a rebound given up when the player redirects the puck. Now, if it was a clean shot from the point in, yeah, you probably got to smother that, or it's got to be a clean rebound into a controlled area. Instead, it was redirected right at the net front by a Canucks player. That gives up a rebound, which you really can't hate a rebound there. And because of the Devils' positioning on that one with the defensive responsibilities, ended up being two Canucks player to the one defenseman. They get the clean rebound pickup, and again, slide it around Vitek's pad and in. Great? No. But you're up 4-2 in the first. You really mostly controlled play. Only gave up the one power play goal. Canucks did get multiple power plays in this one. And I thought Vitek was mostly our best penalty killer. He did give up some rebounds. Some of those rebounds he made awesome saves afterwards. Some of them, the Canucks just shot it right back into him. But again, when you're on the penalty kill, the goalie just making the saves is what matters. Now, it looks like he might have gotten over, but then also the Hughes save was great. Hughes also had the awful play. I think the play itself was smart, but he just did not execute it at all, where he gave up the puck basically all on his own in the D zone after wrapping back in, gave up a quality chance there, and Vitek came up pretty big. I also think Nemec had some really great defensive plays with a stick lift that probably prevented a goal. But that's not all the goals that were scored in this game after the 4-2. Instead, it was almost a scoreless second period, but instead we go up 5-2 off of a beautiful power play goal from Luke Hughes from his brother Jack. All Hughes brothers ends up with points in this one. Jack with a 3-point night, Luke with a goal. Quinn at least one. I think he might have gotten the second assist. I didn't actually go back through the box scores like I said yesterday. I just finished watching the replay of the game this morning. So trying to give this to you guys all fresh. Didn't dig into the numbers as I normally do. Just didn't have the time before work to get that all done. But we're up 5-2 in the third period. And then things kind of went off the rails a little bit. Canucks get the third goal. Now, I saw a lot of people blaming Siegenthaler on this play. I heavily disagree. I actually think this was on Nemec, unfortunately. Siegenthaler was able to... Basically, the play was there was three Devils players heading for the puck behind the net. Nemec, Siegenthaler, and a forward, I don't remember quite who. Nemec was basically in line with the Canucks player. So I've seen some people saying Siegenthaler needed to let Nemec take that puck and continue to defend the net front. I disagree. When you have the clean play and you can be the first to the puck with no other player there for you, you should be able to, you should make that initial play. You should win the race to the puck and get the pass out. Now, unfortunately, Siegenthaler did make the mistake of going up the boards instead of wrapping it back around, putting the puck into a dangerous area. But it necessarily wasn't the wrong play. It just execution through it was not there. So because he went there, Nemec had plenty of opportunity once he saw Siegenthaler make that play to cut back to the middle and take over for Siegenthaler's part of the ice. And instead, he kind of just stayed in la-la land in this kind of weird triangle where he was taking nobody, took no passes away, just nothing. That's where it is on Nemec to take that play. He should have went net front instead. Canucks take the puck up the board. Quick pass over to an empty net front play. Boom, bang, goal. 5-3. Can't put that on Vitek. But with 5 goals, maybe he has to make a sprawling play there and a ridiculous save, right? Because we haven't... On the power play, he had some, but 5-on-5, not really. But, that can't be put on him. The 4th and 5th goals, maybe a bit more so. So the 4th goal, this one was the... no, not the 4th goal, sorry. The 5th goal for sure. So the 4th goal was the Quinn shot from the point, redirection in. Beautiful redirect. Can't blame a goalie on that one. It's not really on the defense either. You're not going to get shutouts every game. Some goals are just really good plays by the other team. The 4th goal in this case was really good by Vancouver. The power play goal, given the fact that we had the missing stick, good play by Vancouver. The other 3 goals were defensive lapses, or with the 5th and tying goal, absolutely on Vitek. It was a clean shot in. He gave up a juicy rebound, no redirect, no crazy screen, nothing. He should have had that one smothered or at least a rebound out into the corner. Instead, rebound out front, puts the puck in, 5-5. That one is on VTech squarely, in my opinion. Thankfully, the team at that point, once they tied it up, we took over. The Nucks did not get another shot attempt. We absolutely dominated play heading into their zone. We get rewarded with a Jesper Bratt second goal of the game, first and 11th goal, ties it or ends it. No overtime needed. We get the 2 points. Not even a point to Vancouver, who doesn't need it anyway. Screw them. And we get to go home happy with the 2. Overall, looking at the game, I thought all of our lines except for the line I was very worried about, that third line of Timo, Mercer, Holtz, played very well. Played exceptionally well, even. That third line, though, had a lot of play in their own D zone. They did not generate a lot offensively. And, I mean, I said it. That Timo is clearly struggling in D zone play and transition. Right now, I think when he is in the O zone, can get a start in the O zone, whether it's off of a face-off of win or whether it's just good, quick play up out of the zone or whatever the case may be. He's doing well. But the problem is a lot of the game is not always played in the O zone. It's transition, it's D zone play, and the combination of him, Mercer, Holtz, should have seen that coming. It was terrible. So I don't know what kind of shakeup they need to do because the rest of the top 6 was playing quite well. And instead, that third line was just horrid in D zone play. I mean, Timo still seems to be struggling with adapting to the system and what his responsibilities are in the D zone in transition. It's still his first full season with the team. I give a lot of leeway, a lot of leash to teams that are to players that are in their first year with the team. Toffoli is clearly doing quite well, but I also think he's still learning that defensive and transition play. Biggest difference being he's with Jack, and it's very easy to just go, oh, give the puck to Jack and he'll handle everything. Instead, Timo's kind of got to be that driver on his line, and his positioning in the D zone, where his assignments, all that is clearly still off, just by fractions, if not even half a second, which is quite a lot in hockey. And I think as he adjusts there, or whatever the case needs to be, he will eventually find that game. But yeah, it's clearly still an adjustment period for him. And then when you're putting him out there with 2 other guys who are just not, also struggles in those areas, in Mercer and Holtz. Now Holtz, I think, is doing really good actually in transition and in the offensive zone. In zone defense, not as much. And Mercer, when he's not with Jack, has just not been great, especially when he's playing center. That line, it needs something different. I don't know what, but something. Drop Mercer to the 4th line. Truly, honestly, would be my take. I would bump McLeod up to the 3rd line center, slide Lazar to center the 4th line, and have Mercer Bastion at the wings. Is that going to happen? Probably not. But that's probably what I would do. Defensive pairings, I thought actually did quite well. Again, Nemec had his defensive mistakes. It's only his 2nd NHL game. Not going to rip him on that. I thought Ball had one of his best games of the regular season, which is great to see. Finally, if him and Marino can get it clicking, that'd be great. Luke continues to do Luke things. And Miller got sat for some pretty poor play, and I think deservedly so. VTech need to have at least one of those. The 5th goal was on him completely. Maybe should have had 2, but I'll give a little leeway there. And really, that's what it comes down to. Our power play, I thought, looked good. It converted on 1. Our penalty kill, it gave up 1. But like I said, Nucks have one of the best power plays in the league. And otherwise, we shut it down against them, which I thought was pretty encouraging. That's about it. Yeah, we got to stop giving up so many goals. But we got the win. Got the 2 points. Starts off the road trip well. If we win these next 2, we're back to 3rd in the Metro already. Points percentage. And we also have some games in hand with that. So yeah, it could be pretty good. Was this 4 in our last 5 for wins? We like to see that. Things are back on the upturn. Who would have thought? We're mostly healthy. We're going to be without Dougie, probably the rest of the regular season at least. Best case scenario, he is back for the last month or so, but this is probably the roster we're working with. And from what I've seen, give Nemec a bit more time to grow. The lines, at least that 3rd line's got to be figured out. We could really be clicking and get something going here, and it's still pretty early on in the season, so still optimistic, but that's just always how I'm going to be. Going to go ahead and wrap it up for this one. We got another game tomorrow, which I'll preview, a 10:30 start versus Seattle. I'll watch it the next morning, and we'll see how I feel we're matching up against Seattle. It's tomorrow morning. So, as always, and forever, let's go down.